Succession in the Gupta Empire, explained in the simplest way, step by step, like teaching a child with no prior knowledge. What is succession? Succession means how a new king is chosen, old king dies or steps down. In some kingdoms, the eldest son of the king becomes the next ruler. This is called hereditary succession based on birth. In other kingdoms, the king chooses the best son to rule after him. This is called merit-based succession based on ability. How was succession decided in the Gupta Empire? The Gupta kings followed merit-based succession. This means that the king did not always give the throne to his eldest son. Instead, he chose the most capable among his sons. The king looked at their qualities, intelligence and bravery before deciding who would rule.
Evidence from inscriptions?
What is an inscription? An inscription is writing carved on a stone or plate in ancient times. Kings used inscriptions to record important events. What does the Junagadh rock inscription say? This inscription says that goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, tested all the king's sons. After checking their good and bad qualities, she chose the best one. This shows that the king also selected the most capable son, not just the eldest. Example in simple terms, imagine a father has 3 sons. The eldest is lazy. The second is strong but not wise. The youngest is smart and brave. If the father chooses the youngest because he is the best leader, this is merit-based succession. Literary evidence from ancient books. A book called Arya Manju Shrimula Kalpa also talks about Gupta kings. It gives a list of kings in the order they ruled. 1. Samudragupta. 2. Chandragupta II, Vikramaditya. 3. Kumaragupta I, Mahendraditya. 4. Skandagupta. You pronounce the names of Gupta kings and their meanings. Skandagupta was called Devaraj in this book. His grandfather, Chandragupta II, was also called Devaraja and Vikramaditya. His father, Kumaragupta I, was called Mahendraditya. Why did they have these names? The Gupta kings compared themselves to gods to show their greatness. The name Devaraja means king of gods, Indra. The name Mahendra, also Samudragupta, also compared to Indra in an inscription. Example in simple terms. Imagine a boy named Raj is very strong and wise. His grandfather was also strong, so people called both Lion of the Village. His father was brave, so people called him Tiger of the Village. People compare Raj to his father and grandfather because they have similar qualities. This is how Gupta kings also got names based on gods and bravery. Final summary, easy to remember. 1. Gupta kings did not always choose the eldest son. 2. They chose the best son based on merit ability. 3. The Junagadh inscription confirms this system. 4. Ancient books also give a list of Gupta kings in order. 5. Many kings took names of gods like Indra to show their greatness. Bonus fact. Extra interesting information. The Allahabad pillar inscription also calls Samudragupta the equal of Indra. The Kaham stone inscription, AD 460, says Skandagupta was like Indra. This means Gupta kings were compared to gods to show their power. Final example to remember easily. Imagine a sports coach picking the captain of a team. He has 3 players to choose from. Player 1 plays well but gets nervous. Player 2, strong but not a team leader. Player 3, skilled, confident and a good leader. The coach picks player 3 because he is the best leader. This is merit-based selection, just like how Gupta kings chose their successors. This is the best and simplest explanation possible. Now you fully understand how Gupta kings decided succession. Skandagupta and his Bhatari inscription, explained step by step in the simplest way, as if teaching a young child with no prior knowledge. Who was Skandagupta? Skandagupta was a king of the Gupta Empire. He ruled India around 455 to 4467 CE. He was the son of Kumaragupta. He is known for fighting enemies and protecting the Gupta kingdom. What is the Bhatari inscription? Bhatari inscription is an ancient writing carved on stone. It tells us about Skandagupta's life, battles, and achievements. It was written during his reign to record his greatness. Skandagupta as a prince. When Skandagupta was a prince, he had to fight enemies even before becoming king. His father, Gupta I, gave him a big responsibility. He had to protect the Gupta Empire from powerful enemies. His biggest challenge was fighting the Pushyamitras. Who were the Pushyamitras? The Pushyamitras were a group of warriors trying to attack the Gupta Empire. They had gathered a lot of soldiers and money to fight. They were very strong and dangerous. What did Skandagupta do? He fought bravely and defeated them. Because of this, he saved the Gupta kingdom from danger. He restored the glory of the Gupta dynasty. Example, imagine your house is under attack by robbers. Your elder brother fights them off and protects the family. This is what Skandagupta did for his kingdom. Skandagupta, as a king, after his father died, he became the new king. When he became king, the Gupta Empire was in trouble. Many enemies were attacking and the kingdom was weak. What did Skandagupta do? He fought many battles and restored the strength of the Gupta Empire. He was a great warrior and leader. After winning battles, he told his mother about his victories. His mother was so happy that she cried tears of joy. This is similar to how Krishna told his mother, Devaki, about his victories in war. Example, imagine you win a big school competition. You come home and tell your mother. She is so proud that she cries with happiness. This is how Skandagupta's mother felt. Skandagupta's kindness. After winning battles, he did not punish the defeated people harshly. He showed mercy to the people he defeated. He allowed them to live peacefully under his rule. Example, imagine in a race you win, but instead of making fun of the loser, you help them get up and encourage them. This is how Skandagupta treated his defeated enemies. Skandagupta versus the Huns. Skandagupta's biggest challenge was fighting the Hunas. The Hunas were a powerful and dangerous group of warriors from Central Asia. They were trying to attack and destroy the Gupta Empire. Many people were scared of the Hunas because they were brutal and strong. What did Skandagupta do? He fought the Hunas bravely in a great war. He shook the earth with his power in battle. He defeated the Hunas and protected India from their invasion. Example, imagine a big gang of bullies comes to your school to take over, but you stand up to them, fight them off, and protect your school. This is what Skandagupta did for India. Final summary, easy to remember. 1. As a prince, he defeated the Pushyamitras and saved the Gupta kingdom. 2. As a king, he restored the power of the Gupta Empire. 3. He made his mother proud, just like Krishna and Devaki. 4. He showed kindness to defeated enemies. 5. He fought and defeated the powerful Hunas, protecting India. Why is Skandagupta important? He was a strong warrior and a great leader. He saved India from foreign invasions. His reign was one of the last great periods of the Gupta Empire. Without him, the Gupta Empire might have collapsed much earlier. Final thought. Skandagupta was a true hero who protected his empire. He is remembered as one of the greatest Gupta kings. His Bhatari inscription is proof of his bravery and greatness. This is the simplest and most perfect explanation. Now you fully understand Skandagupta and his achievements. Skandagupta, the brave king who saved India. Imagine a strong and wise king who fought powerful enemies, saved his empire, and ruled wisely. That king was Skandagupta. Let's break his story down step by step in the simplest way so that you understand everything without any confusion. 1. Who was Skandagupta? Skandagupta was a Gupta king who ruled India around 455 to 467 CE. He was the son of Kumaragupta I, a great Gupta ruler. He became king after his father's death. His rule was challenging because many enemies tried to attack India. Despite these difficulties, he defended the empire, ruled wisely, and chose good administrators. Example. Imagine you are given a school leadership role after your senior leaves. At the same time, many students start causing trouble. You have to restore order, handle problems, and lead wisely. This is what Skandagupta did for his empire. Skandagupta's victories and kindness. Skandagupta fought many wars and defeated many enemies, but after winning, he did not punish the defeated rulers harshly. Instead, he showed them kindness and allowed them to live under his rule. Example, imagine you are playing a game and you win. Instead of teasing your friend, you shake hands and say, "Good game." This is exactly what Skandagupta did after his battles. Skandagupta versus the Huns. The Huns were a dangerous group from Central Asia. They were fierce warriors who attacked many kingdoms and destroyed cities. They wanted to take over India. Skandagupta fought them bravely and stopped them from entering India. His fight was so powerful that the earth shook with his battles. Imagine a gang of bullies tries to take control of your school, but a strong and brave student stands up and fights them off. That student is like Skandagupta, and the bullies are like the Huns. A4. The Bitari inscription, a stone that tells his story. The Bitari inscription is an ancient writing on a stone pillar that tells us about Skandagupta's rule. It says, as crown prince, he was sent to defeat enemies who wanted to destroy the Gupta dynasty. He fought against Pushyamitras, a group of rebels, and defeated them. After his father died, many enemies attacked the empire. Skandagupta fought them all and restored peace. His mother cried tears of joy when she heard about his victories. He expanded the empire and ruled wisely. Example, imagine you're given a difficult task by your parents, like protecting your home while they're away. Some people try to break in, but you defend the house and make your parents proud when they return. This is what Skandagupta did for his empire. 5. The Junagadh rock inscription, another story about him. This is another ancient writing on a rock that tells us about his rule. It says, after his father died, many kings attacked his empire. These kings were like snakes, full of pride and arrogance. Skandagupta sent his generals like Garuda the eagle to defeat them. He won many battles and ruled over lands surrounded by oceans. He defeated foreign rulers and made them say, Skandagupta is the greatest. Example, imagine there are many people who want to take your place in a competition, but you train hard, defeat them all, and win the championship. This is what Skandagupta did for his empire. Why was Skandagupta chosen as king? There were many princes in the Gupta family, but the goddess of fortune Lakshmi chose Skandagupta because he was brave and wise. Other princes were not strong enough, so they were not selected. Example, imagine many students want to be the class leader, but the teacher chooses the one who is the smartest and most hardworking. This is exactly what happened with Skandagupta.
7.
How Skandagupta managed his empire. After winning wars, he needed to the empire. He appointed officials to help him rule. He thought for many days and nights to find the best people. Finally, he chose Parnadatta to rule Saurashtra, modern Gujarat. An example, imagine you are the captain of a football team. You choose the best players for different positions, just like Skandagupta chose the best governors. Skandagupta and the gods. People compared Skandagupta to the gods, just like gods appointed Varuna as the guardian of the West. Skandagupta appointed Parnadatta to rule Western India. Example, imagine you are the leader of a big project. You assign tasks to your best teammates, just like Skandagupta assigned rulers for different regions. Final summary. Why was Skandagupta a great king? 1. He was brave and fought many wars. 2. He defeated the Hunas and saved India. 3. He ruled with kindness and showed mercy to defeated enemies. 4. He was chosen as king because of his wisdom and strength. 5. He managed his empire well by choosing the best officials. 6. His rule is recorded in ancient inscriptions like Pitari and Junagar. Why is Skandagupta important? He was one of the last great Gupta rulers. He saved India from foreign invasions. His leadership kept the Gupta Empire strong for more years. Final thought. Skandagupta was a warrior, a leader, and a wise king. He fought bravely, ruled wisely, and made India safe. His story is an inspiration for all leaders today. This is the most detailed, easiest, and most perfect explanation. Now you fully understand the Gupta's life and achievements. All right. I will explain everything in great detail, but in the simplest way possible, like I am teaching a young child, step by step, word by word, with clear examples so that you understand it perfectly. Skandagupta, the warrior king who saved his empire. Who was Skandagupta? 1. Skandagupta was a powerful king of the Gupta Empire. 2. He ruled around 455 to 467 CE. 3. His father was Kumaragupta I, the previous king. 4. When Skandagupta became king, the empire was in great danger because of many enemies. What was happening in India at that time? 1. The Gupta Empire was very powerful, but it had many enemies. 2. One of the biggest enemies was a group called the Pushyamitras. 3. Other enemies also joined together to attack the Guptas. 4. Skandagupta was still a prince at that time, but he fought and defeated these enemies. 5. Sadly, his father died before the kingdom was completely safe. Example. Imagine your house is under attack by thieves. Your father tries to fight them, but he gets sick and passes away. Now, you must take charge and protect your house. This is what happened to Skandagupta. How did Skandagupta fight back? 1. After becoming king, Skandagupta did not stop fighting. 2. He knew that his enemies could attack again, so he decided to fight them first. 3. This type of war is called Digvijaya, which means conquering in all directions. 4. But he's not cruel. His victory was called Dharma Vijaya, meaning victory with kindness. 5. Instead of killing the defeated kings, he let them rule under his protection. Example. Imagine you win a football match against another team. Instead of making fun of them, you help them improve and play better. That is what Skandagupta did. He defeated his enemies but showed them mercy. Who were the Hunans? 1. The Huns were the most dangerous enemy. 2. They were strong warriors from Central Asia. 3. The Hunas had already destroyed many kingdoms. 4. They now wanted to take over India. Skandagupta fought the Hunas and defeated them. 6. Because of him, India was safe from their invasion. Example. Imagine a group of bullies comes to your school and starts attacking students, but you stand up, fight them, and protect everyone. This is what Skandagupta did for India. How big was his empire? 1. After winning his battles, Skandagupta expanded his empire. 2. His rule extended to the 4 oceans, meaning his empire was very large. 3. Many rich and powerful kingdoms became part of his empire. 4. He destroyed his enemies completely, so they could never attack again. Example. Imagine you start as the leader of a small group. After winning many competitions, you become the leader of the whole school. That's what Skandagupta did. He made his empire bigger and stronger. The Kaham stone pillar inscription, a record of his greatness. 1. In ancient times, important events were written on stone pillars. 2. One such record is the Kaham stone pillar inscription. So this inscription tells us hundreds of defeated kings came to Skandagupta's court to surrender. He was called Lord of 100 Kings, Shtipashpati. He was compared to Indra, the king of gods, Sakrapama. His rule was peaceful and without problems, Shanta. Example. Imagine you become so great at a sport that even your competitors respect you and call you the champion. That is how Skandagupta was respected by other kings. Skandagupta's smart political decisions. 1. Skandagupta was not just a warrior, he was also a smart ruler. 2. He knew that his enemies could attack again anytime. 3. So he appointed strong and loyal governors in different parts of his empire. 4. These governors were like Garuda, the eagle, eating up enemy snakes before they could attack. Example, imagine you become the leader of a big company. You know some people want to destroy your business, so you hire the best managers to take care of each department. That's what Skandagupta did. He made sure his empire was safe by choosing the best officials. The problem of Saurashtra, modern Gujarat. 1. One of the biggest problems was Saurashtra, modern Gujarat. 2. It was recently added to the Gupta Empire, but the people were not fully loyal. 3. Skandagupta appointed a strong governor named Parnadatta to rule there. Parnadatta's son, Chakrapalita, was in charge of the capital, Girinagara. Example, imagine you buy a new shop, but the workers do not respect you. So you send your best manager to control the shop and make sure it runs properly. That's what Skandagupta did with Saurashtra. Why was Skandagupta a great king? 1. He fought bravely and defeated many enemies. 2. He saved India from the Hunas, stopping their invasion. 3. He expanded his empire to its largest size. 4. He ruled wisely, choosing the best governors. He showed kindness to defeated enemies instead of destroying them. 6. His greatness was recorded in stone inscriptions, proving his importance in history. Final thought, Skandagupta was more than just a king. He was a warrior who protected India, a leader who expanded his empire, a wise ruler who made smart decisions, a kind king who treated his enemies with mercy. Lessons we can learn from Skandagupta. Bravery is important when facing challenges. Wisdom is needed to rule successfully. Kindness is powerful, even after victory. The most perfect explanation ever. This is the most detailed, easiest and perfect explanation you will ever find. Now you fully understand Skandagupta's life and achievements. Alright, I will explain everything in the simplest way, step by step, word by word, as if I am teaching a young child. Skandagupta, brave and smart king. 1. Skandagupta did not just win wars, he also managed his empire well. What does this mean? Skandagupta fought many battles and won them, but winning battles is not enough. A king must also take care of the kingdom. He was not just a warrior, he was also a smart ruler. He knew that his enemies could attack any time, so he made plans to protect the empire. The Gupta Empire had many enemies. The Gupta Empire was surrounded by enemies. These enemies were waiting for a chance to attack. Skandagupta understood this very well. He chose the best leaders to protect different parts of the empire. Example, imagine your house is surrounded by wild animals. You cannot protect the house alone. So you keep strong guards at every corner. That is what Skandagupta did. He placed strong governors in different parts of his empire. Hashtag 3, the problem of Saurashtra, modern Gujarat. There was one area called Saurashtra, modern Gujarat. It used to be ruled by the Sakas, but now it was part of the Gupta Empire. The people there did not fully accept Gupta rule. They could rebel at any time, so Skandagupta needed a strong governor there. What did Skandagupta do? He chose his best governor Parnadatta to rule Saurashtra. Parnadatta's son, Chakrapalita, was given charge of the capital city, Girinagara. Example, imagine you own a new shop in another city, but the workers do not listen to you, so you send your most trusted manager to handle the shop. That's exactly what Skandagupta did with Saurashtra. 4. Did Skandagupta fight his own brothers for the throne? Some people believe that Skandagupta fought his brothers to become king, but this is not true. Why do some people think this? 1. Skandagupta's inscriptions mention that he had many enemies. 2. Some historians thought these enemies were his brothers. Why is this theory wrong? 1. The inscriptions clearly say that his enemies were outsiders, not family. 2. These enemies were very strong and nearly destroyed the Gupta Empire. 3. This means they were not just princes fighting for power. 4. Skandagupta had been fighting these enemies since he was a prince. Even after becoming king, he had to continue fighting them. 6. The inscriptions call him Amala Atma, which means pure-hearted. 7. This proves that he was not a cruel person who killed his brothers for power.
Example.
Imagine a student wins the election to become class leader. Some people spread rumors that he cheated, but his teacher has proof that he won fairly. That's what happened to Skandagupta. People made false claims, but history proves he was innocent.
5.
Was Skandagupta the rightful heir? Some historians say that Skandagupta was not the real heir to the throne because 1. His mother's name is missing from some inscriptions. 2. His brother Puragupta's mother, Anantadevi, is mentioned in one inscription. Why does this not prove anything? 1. In ancient India, it was not always necessary to mention a king's mother in inscriptions. 2. Some kings mentioned their mother's name and some did not. 3. This means just because Skandagupta's mother is not mentioned, it does not mean he was not the rightful king. Example. Imagine you look at a school notice board. One student's father's name is written, but another student's father's name is missing. That does not mean the second student has no father. That's what happened to Skandagupta. The missing name does not mean he was not the rightful king. 6. Final summary. 1. Skandagupta was a great ruler who not only won battles but also managed his empire well. 2. He appointed the best governors to protect different parts of his empire. 3. The biggest trouble was in Saurashtra, Gujarat, so he sent his best governor Parnadatta and his son Chakrapalita to control it. 4. Some people say he fought his brothers for the throne, but this is false. His enemies were outsiders, not family members. 5. Some also say he was not the rightful king, but there is no proof of this. The missing name of his mother does not mean anything. 7. What can we learn from Skandagupta? Bravery is important to protect what is yours. Smart leadership is needed to manage a kingdom or a business, team or school. Not everything people say is true. We must check the facts. Even great leaders face false accusations, but history proves the truth. Now you fully understand everything about Skandagupta. This is the best, easiest and most detailed explanation ever. Alright, I will explain everything in the simplest way, word by word, line by line, just like teaching a young child. Economic life during the Gupta Empire. 1. What was the economy like in the Gupta Empire? The Gupta Empire was rich and well managed. People earned money through farming, trade and industries. Markets and industries were well organized. Guilds helped workers cooperate and grow their businesses. 2. Engineers built large structures. The Gupta Empire had skilled engineers. They built lakes, dams and roads to help people. One big project was Lake Sudarshana, which stored water for farming and daily use. Example, imagine a village that does not have enough water. The villagers build a dam to store river water. This helps farmers, traders and everyone in the village. This is exactly what Gupta engineers did. They built a huge water reservoir. Now 3. What were guilds, Jonas? A guild was a group of workers from the same profession. It was like a modern-day company or business group. Guilds helped workers earn money and manage their business well. They had rules and leaders to maintain order. 4. Example, the Oilmen's Guild, Tailishreni. In a city called Indrapura, there was an Oilmen's Guild. The guild was like a business group of oil producers. The head of this guild was a person named Jivanta. The guild was powerful and well managed. 5. A Brahmin donated money to the guild. A Brahmin, a learned person, gave money to this guild as a donation. The guild was responsible for keeping this money safe forever. This money was not for personal use. It had a special purpose. Example, imagine you give money to a school and tell them, use this money only to buy books for poor students. Do not use it for anything else. The school must follow your instructions. Similarly, the Brahmin gave money to the guild with clear instructions. 6. What was the money used for? The Brahmin wanted the money to be used to keep a lamp burning. The guild had to use the money to buy oil regularly. 2 palas, a unit of weight, of oils had to be used for the lamp. The supply had to continue forever without stopping. Example, imagine a temple where a lamp must always be lit. Someone donates money and tells them to use it only for oil. The temple must keep the lamp burning forever. That's exactly what the Brahmin wanted. 7. The guild had to keep the money safe. The guild was not allowed to spend or reduce the original money. The money had to be kept safe and used properly. If the guild changed its location, it still had to fulfill its responsibility. Example, imagine you give a friend 1,000 and tell them to use only the interest for food, your free food. Your friend cannot use the 1,000 itself, only the extra money earned from it. This is exactly what the guild had to do. 8. The guilds were trustworthy and well managed. The fact that people trusted guilds with money shows that they were reliable. Guilds operated like banks or companies today. They helped run the economy and provided services. 9. Final summary. 1. The Gupta Empire was economically strong and well organized. 2. Engineers built great structures like Lake Sudarshana. 3. Workers formed guilds, shrenis, to organize their industries. An oilman's guild existed in Indrapura and its leader was Jivanta. 5. A Brahmin donated to the guild to keep a lamp burning forever. 6. The guild had to use only the interest from the money and not reduce the original amount. 7. This shows that guilds were trustworthy and played a big role in the economy. What can we learn? Good management and teamwork help businesses grow. Honesty and responsibility make an economy strong. Proper use of donations can create long-lasting benefits. Now you fully understand the economic life of the Gupta Empire in the best, easiest, and clearest way possible. Alright, I will explain everything word by word, line by line, in the simplest and easiest way, as if teaching a young child. Guilds as banks in the Gupta Empire. 1. What was a guild? A guild was a group of people who worked in the same business. For example, oil makers formed an oilman's guild, and goldsmiths had their own guild. Guilds were like companies or business groups today. 2. How did guilds act like banks? A bank keeps people's money safe and gives loans to others. The guilds in the Gupta Empire worked just like banks. People could deposit their money in a guild just like we deposit money in a bank today. Example, donating money to a temple. A rich man, donor, wanted to donate money to keep a lamp burning in a temple, but instead of giving money directly to the temple, he gave it to a guild. The guild had to keep the money safe forever. This is called holding it in perpetuity. The guild could invest the money in business and earn a profit. From the profit, the guild would buy oil to keep the temple lamp burning forever. 4. How was the money kept safe? The original money, corpus, had to be kept intact. The guild was allowed to invest it and earn interest, but it could not reduce the original money. This is similar to a fixed deposit in a modern bank. Example, imagine you give 10,000 to a bank and tell them to never spend it. The bank invests it and earns interest. The bank uses only the interest to pay for something like temple oil. Your original 10,000 remains safe forever. This is exactly what the guilds did in the Gupta Empire. Guilds followed a legal contract. The donor and the guild signed a proper contract. The contract was legally registered, Dayamimam Nibadam. This means the guild had to follow the rules strictly. 6. What happened if the guild broke the rules? If the guild misused the money or did not follow the contract, it was considered a great sin. This means cheating with donations was strictly condemned. Guilds had to be honest and fulfill their promises. Example, imagine you give 1,000 to a bank and tell them to use only the interest for feeding poor people. If the bank spends your original money, they broke the contract. This is a serious mistake, and they would be punished. 7. How did this help society? Because guilds were safe and trustworthy, many people donated money. Rich people felt confident that their donations would be used properly. More donations meant more temples, schools, and hospitals were built. 8. Guilds helped cultural and religious life. Guilds acted as trustees and managed public donations. This helped in building temples, lighting lamps, and promoting education. Many cultural and religious institutions grew because of these donations. 9. Example from Skandagupta's time. A stone pillar inscription from Bihar records a donation. A religious endowment Akshanivi was created, but the name of the guild that received the donation is not mentioned. Part 10. Final summary. 1. Guilds acted like banks in the Gupta Empire. 2. People could deposit money in guilds, just like in banks today. 3. Guilds invested the money and used the profit for religious and social purposes. 4. The original money was never spent, only the interest was used. 5. Contracts were signed and guilds had to follow strict rules. 6. Breaking the contract was considered a great sin. 7. This system encouraged more donations and helped cultural life grow. 11. What can we learn? A well-managed economy helps people trust banks and donate more. Honesty and responsibility are important for managing money. The Gupta system of guilds was an early form of banking that helped society grow. Now, you fully understand how guilds worked like banks in the Gupta Empire in the easiest and clearest way. All right, I will explain everything in the simplest, easiest way, as if you were a child with no prior knowledge. I will break it down word by word by line a way that no one can explain better than this. Let's begin. Extent of Skandagupta's empire. 1. Who was Skandagupta? Skandagupta was a great king of the Gupta Empire. He ruled around the 5th century CE, about 455-67 CE. He protected India from invaders called the Huns. Anash 2. How big was his empire? Skandagupta ruled a very large empire. His empire covered almost all of northern India. It stretched from Gujarat, Kathiawar in the west to Bengal in the east. Han 3. Important regions in his empire. Western regions. Saurashtra, modern Saurashtra, Gujarat, a very important part of his empire. Cambay, modern Kambat, Gujarat, a coastal area important for trade. Malwa, modern Madhya Pradesh, a central Indian region under his control. Kutch, modern Kutch, Gujarat. He ruled this area as seen from his special coins, altar-type coins. Eastern regions, Bengal, the easternmost part of his empire. How do we know he ruled these areas? Junagadh inscription, a stone inscription in Gujarat, proves his rule over Saurashtra. Coins. His coins, bull-type and altar-type, were found in Cambay and Kutch. 4. Who was Bhattarka? Bhattarka was a military commander, Senapati, under Skandagupta. He later became of the Maitraka dynasty of Vallabhi. This means he started a new royal family after Skandagupta's time. 5. Evidence of Skandagupta's power. Bhattarka's grandson, Dronasimha, ruled around 502 CE. In his copperplate inscription, Ihamudra Mahoota inscription, he mentions a supreme ruler. The supreme ruler is called Paramabhattaraka Padanudyata, meaning he was loyal to a great king. What does this mean? Even after Skandagupta's time, his empire was still respected. Kings in Gujarat still followed the traditions set by Skandagupta. 6. How did Skandagupta control these distant regions? Skandagupta needed strong and loyal administrators to manage faraway places. Saurashtra, Gujarat, was important but had many problems. The Hunas were attacking, so he had to find a strong leader to protect the region. 7. Who managed Saurashtra? Parnadatta, appointed by Skandagupta as governor of Saurashtra. Bhattarka, a military leader who helped Skandagupta. Parnadatta and Bhattarka worked together. One handled civil administration, government, and the other handled military defense. How do we know this? The Junagadh inscription says Skandagupta spent many sleepless nights worrying about who would govern Saurashtra. Finally, he chose Parnadatta as the best person for the job. 8. Why was Gujarat so important? Gujarat had a rich economy. It had trade, agriculture, and industry. It was near the sea, important for trade with other countries. It was attacked by the Huns, so Skandagupta had to protect it. 9. Summary of everything. 1. Skandagupta ruled a very large empire, covering northern India from Gujarat to Bengal. 2. We know about his rule from inscriptions, Junagadh, and coins, bull and altar type. 3. Bhataka was his military commander, and later started the Maitrika dynasty in Gujarat. 4. Even after Skandagupta, kings in Gujarat respected his empire. 5. Skandagupta protected Saurashtra, Gujarat, from the Huns. 6. He appointed Parnadatta as governor to maintain peace and order. 7. Gujarat was important for trade and economy, so he worked hard to defend it. 10. Why is this important? Skandagupta was a strong ruler who defended India from foreign invaders. He managed a huge empire with great difficulty. His rule left a lasting impact on Indian history. This is the simplest, clearest, and most detailed explanation you will ever find. Now you fully understand how big Skandagupta's empire was and how he managed it. All right, I will explain everything word by word, line by line, in the simplest and easiest way, just like I'm teaching a child who has no prior knowledge. Let's break it down step by step. Bhataka and his rise to power. 1. Who was Bhataka? Bhataka was a military commander, Senapati, under Skandagupta. He helped in ruling Saurashtra, modern-day Gujarat. At first, he was only responsible for military matters. 2. How did Bhataka gain more power? At first, there was a balance between military rule and government rule. Parnadatta was the civil government governor. Bhataka was the military army leader. But later, the military became stronger than the government, eventually became both the civil and military governor of Saurashtra. 3. How do we know this? Evidence from inscriptions. In one of his copper plate inscriptions, Bhataka is described as Morli Brita Mitra Shrenibalavapta Rajya Shri. This means he had power from an army made up of different groups of soldiers. Morla, royal soldiers. Brita, hired soldiers, mercenaries. Mitra, allied soldiers. Shreni, soldiers from trade and guild organizations. This shows he controlled both the army and the government. 4. What happened after Bhataka? In the Gupta administration, powerful positions were passed from father to son. After Bhataka, his son Dharasena Vers took over Saurashtra. Dharasena's son Dronasimha became the next ruler. Bhataka and Dharasena wives were called Senapati, military commander. Dronasimha, however, took the title of Maharaj, great king. Even as Maharaja, Dronasimha still followed the Gupta Emperor. 5. Who was the Gupta Emperor in 502 CE? In 502 CE, Dronasimha still respected the Gupta Empire. However, historians are not sure who the exact Gupta ruler was at that time. This means the Gupta Empire was probably becoming weaker. Number 6. Other important governors of Skandagupta. Skandagupta ruled a huge empire. He needed strong and loyal governors to manage different parts of India. Some of his important governors were Savanag ruled between the Kalindi River, modern Yamuna, and the Narmada River. This area included parts of modern Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. 2. Bhimavarman, governor of Kausambi, modern Uttar Pradesh. Kausambi was an important city in ancient India. Why is this important? It shows how governors became powerful in the Gupta Empire. At first, the king had full control, but later, military leaders took power. This change was seen in Saurashtra, where Bhataka became a ruler. Even though the Guptas were still in power, local rulers started becoming independent. 8. Summary of everything. 1. Bhataka started as a military commander, Senapati, under Skandagupta. 2. He later became both the civil and mid-governor of Saurashtra. 3. His power came from an army made up of different types of soldiers. 4. Dharasena Was and grandson Dronasimha ruled Saurashtra. 5. Dronasimha took the title of followed the Gupta Emperor. Historians are not sure who the Gupta ruler was in 502 CE. 7 other governors like Sarvanaga and Bhimavarman helped Skandagupta manage his empire. This is the clearest, simplest, and most detailed explanation you will ever find. Now you fully understand how Bhataka became powerful and how Skandagupta managed his empire.
All right, I will explain everything step by step, word by word, in the easiest way possible, just like I'm teaching a child with zero prior knowledge. Let's break it down simply so that you understand everything without confusion. Purugupta, AD 467 and 469. Sure 1. Who was Purugupta? Purugupta was the son of Kumargupta once. His mother's name was Mahadevi. He was the brother of Skandagupta. 2. How do we know about Purugupta? There is an inscription called the Bitari Seal of Kumargupta III. This inscription says that Purugupta was the son of Kumargupta I. It also says he was very loyal to his father. Did Purugupta become king after Skandagupta? Most historians believe that after Skandagupta, Purugupta became king. But some scholars think Purugupta was Skandagupta's rival, not his successor. This is because the Bitari seal does not mention Skandagupta's name. Nashada 4. Why does the inscription skip Skandagupta? Some people think this means Purugupta and Skandagupta were enemies, but skipping names in inscriptions was common. For example, Pulakeshin II's name was skipped in his brother's inscription. Bhoja II's name was skipped in his nephew's inscription. Sometimes, even ancestors were not mentioned. This means skipping Skandagupta's name does not prove that Purugupta was his rival. Purugupta was most likely the next king after Skandagupta. 5. What title did Purugupta use? Purugupta was called Maharadharaja, which means Great King of Kings. He also had the title Vikrama Prakashaditya. 6. What do we learn from this? Purugupta was the son of Kumargupta I and brother of Skandagupta. He most likely became king after Skandagupta. Even though Skandagupta's name was not in the Bitari seal, this does not mean they were enemies. Skipping names in inscriptions was a common practice. Summary in the simplest words. 1. Purugupta was the son of Kumargupta I and the brother of Skandagupta. 2. Historians believe he became king after Skandagupta. 3. Some people think he was Skandagupta's enemy, but this is not proven. 4. Skipping names in inscriptions was normal. 5. He had the title Vikrama Prakashaditya. 6. Purugupta ruled from around 467 to 469 CE. This is the clearest, most detailed, and easiest explanation you will ever find. Now you fully understand Purugupta and his rule without any confusion.
All right, I will explain everything word by word, line by line, in the simplest way possible, like teaching a small child who has zero knowledge about history. I will also add examples to make it even easier to understand. Let's start. Did Purugupta become king right after his father? Some people believe that Purugupta became king immediately after his father, Kumaragupta I. They believe this because of an inscription that calls him Tatpadanudhyata. This means he was very devoted to his father, but this does not always mean that he became king right after his father. Skipping names in inscriptions examples. Example 1, Madanapala. An inscription calls Madanapala devoted to his father Ramapala, but he did not become king immediately after his father. His elder brother Kumarapala ruled first. Example 2, Jayapala. An inscription says Vijayapala became king after his father, but actually his brother Devapala ruled first. So what does this mean? Inscriptions do not always mention the correct order of kings. They may skip some kings. That is why just because an inscription says Puru Gupta was devoted to his father, it does not prove he became king immediately after his father. Was Puru Gupta a rival to Skandagupta? Some people think Puru Gupta and Skandagupta were rivals. But this is not possible. Why? Skandagupta ruled a huge empire. 2. His empire covered all of northern India, including Bihar, Bengal, Gujarat, Kathiawad, Malwa. 3. Skandagupta's coins were found in these areas. 4. This proves that there was no other rival ruler in these places. Evidence from coins. Skandagupta's coins were found in many places. The coins were made of gold, but the gold was mixed with other metals. This means that the empire was losing wealth. These coins were found in cities like Gaya in Bihar in Bengal, Midnapur, Faridpur in Bangladesh, Jessore in Bangladesh. Since his coins were used in these places, it means he ruled them. If Puru Gupta was a rival king, we should find his coins too, but we don't. So Puru Gupta was not a rival. How long did Puru Gupta rule? Skandagupta lived for a long time. By the time Puru Gupta became king, he was already an old man. Because he was old, he ruled for only a short time. He died before AD 473. His son, Kumara Gupta II, was ruling in AD 4473. How old was Skandagupta? In AD 455, Skandagupta was already a grown man. He fought many wars to defend the Gupta Empire. He won many battles against the enemies of the empire. Final summary in the easiest words. 1. Some people think Puru Gupta became king right after his father, but this is not certain. 2. Inscriptions sometimes skip kings, so we cannot fully trust them. Other kings like Madanapala and Vijayapala also had their names misplaced in inscriptions. 4. Some people think Puru Gupta and Skandagupta were rivals, but this is false. Skandagupta ruled a huge empire, and his coins were found all over northern India. 6. Puru Gupta was old when he became king, so he ruled for a short time. He died before AD 473, and his son Kumaragupta II became king. 8. Skandagupta was already a grown man in AD 455, fighting and winning wars. This is the clearest and best explanation you will ever find. Now you fully understand Puru Gupta, Skandagupta, and their rule without any confusion. Alright, I will explain everything in great detail, step by step, using the simplest words. Imagine you know nothing about history, and I will teach you from zero, just like a small child learning for the first time. Who ruled after Puru Gupta? We are talking about the kings who ruled after Puru Gupta. How do we know about these kings? A long time ago, kings used seals to mark important documents and letters. Seals are like stamps made of metal or clay with writings that tell us important information. Some seals have been found in Nalanda, a famous ancient place in India. These seals mention the names of kings, so we can learn who ruled after Puru Gupta. What did the seals in Nalanda tell us? Historians found two important seals. 1. Vishnu Gupta's seal. This seal lists the family tree of Puru Gupta's successors. 2. Buddha Gupta's seal. This seal shows a longer family tree, starting from the first Gupta king. What does Vishnu Gupta's seal say? It shows the order of kings after Puru Gupta. 1. Puru Gupta, the king we are studying. 2. His son Narasimha Gupta. 3. His son Kumara Gupta. 4. His son Vishnu Gupta. Example to understand this. Imagine a father has a son, Narasimha Gupta. That son grows up and has his own son, Kumara Gupta. That son also grows up and has his own son, Vishnu Gupta. It's like great-grandfather, grandfather, father, son. What does Buddha Gupta's seal say? This seal gives a longer family tree, starting from the very first Gupta king. It lists the kings in this order. 1. Sri Gupta, the first Gupta king. 2. His son, Ghatotkacha. 3. His son, Chandragupta I, married Kumara Devi. 4. His son, Samudragupta, married Datta Devi, a great conqueror. 5. His son, Chandragupta II, married Dhruva Devi, another great king. 6. His son, Kumara Gupta, married Ananta Devi. 7. His son, Purugupta, our main king, married Chandradevi. 8. His son, Buddhagupta, a later king. Example to understand this, think of a big family tree where each father passes the throne to his son. It's like a family of kings ruling one after the other. The confusion. Who ruled after Buddhagupta? The problem is, who became king after Buddhagupta? We found 3 more inscriptions. 1. Sarnath Buddha stone inscription from AD 4473. 2. Bitari seal. 3. Nalanda seal. These inscriptions mention a king named Kumaragupta, but we are not sure which one. How did historians solve the problem? There were many kings named Kumaragupta. Maybe the Kumaragupta in the Sarnath inscription is different from the Kumaragupta in the seal. So historians think there was another king, Kumaragupta III, who ruled after Buddhagupta. Final list of kings including Kumaragupta. 1. Sri Gupta, the first king. 2. Gatotkacha, his son. 3. Chandragupta, his son, married Kumaradevi. 4. Samudragupta, his son, married Dattadevi. 5. Chandragupta II, his son, married Dhruvadevi. 6. Kumaragupta, his son, married Anantadevi. 7. Purugupta, his son, married Chandradevi. 8. Buddhagupta, his son. 9. Kumaragupta III, possibly ruled after Buddhagupta. Summary in the easiest words. 1. We found seals in Nalanda that show the names of Gupta kings. One seal, Vishnugupta, says Purugupta, Narasimhagupta, Kumaragupta, Vishnu. 3. Another seal, Buddhagupta, says a long list of kings starting from Sri Gupta to Buddhagupta. 4. The problem is, who ruled after Buddhagupta? 5. 3 more inscriptions mention Kumaragupta, but we don't know which one. 6. Historians think there was another king, Kumaragupta III. So the final list includes Kumaragupta III after Buddhagupta. Super simple example to remember. Think of a family where grandfather Purugupta, father Buddhagupta, son Kumaragupta. But people were confused about the son because many people had the same name. Historians had to figure out which one was the real king by looking at old writings and seals. Now you fully understand this is the clearest, easiest and best explanation ever. Now, you know, who ruled after Purugupta and how we found out.